Now we move on to the next part of the program. We have invited the Department of Tourism regional directors from Luzon to share with us their tourism plans and directions. And let me first call on Ms. Jovita Ganongan, who is the officer in charge and regional director for the Cordillera Administrative Region.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me greet first the officers and trustees of the Tourism Congress of the Philippines, Mr. Jojo Clemente, of course, Mr. Victor Martinez, Mr. Bob Sosobrado, and also the officers of Philippine Air Asia, Mr. Ricky Isla, Ms. June Aleni Kakam, and my colleagues from the Department of Tourism, Region 1, Director Fanny Beth Domingo, Director Carolina Uy, Director Mike Palispis, and Assistant Secretary Chris Morales, and Director Febuela. So, naimbag nga aldaw tayo amin from Baguio City. So again, thank you for this opportunity to be able to give you an update on Cordillera's tourism and share some strategies and ways forward. As we all know, COVID-19 has really brought the industry to its knees, but the situation now is something that we need to face and accept as a challenge as we support and stand by the industry moving forward. So can we have next? For Cordillera Tourism, can we have the next slide? For Cordillera Tourism at this time, we are still under general community quarantine status. For two provinces, they are under MECQ, that's Abra and Ifugao, just today, that is the update. And under GCQ, according to IATF resolution, leisure travel is prohibited. Thus, even the DOT advisory also prescribes that accommodation establishments are not allowed to accept leisure travelers. That is the case for all areas under GCQ. Next. However, Baguio City was able to get an exemption to accept tourists, but not from areas that are still under ECQ or MECQ. That means NCR+. Also, the exemption comes with the condition that it must continue to observe strict compliance to health and safety protocols and contact tracing measures, which they do. Next. So Baguio City now is open even under GCQ status and accept tourists coming from same status or lower, no? So under Executive Order number 51A, which is a local ordinance. So next, can we have the next slide? So Baguio City entry guidelines prescribes registration through the Visita app. That's an online registration, and that request for travel approval must be you have to approve. We have to approve first the request to travel. Then a QTP will be issued after that, and tourists must present a negative COVID test result, which can be secured 72 hours prior to travel or upon arrival. And all arriving visitors must proceed to the city's triage before checking into hotels. So that's basically the requirement in Baguio City. Okay, so let me just show you this slide, which gives us a glimpse of the number of arrivals in the city of Baguio, which the Visita app was able to monitor. And when we opened in October, following the Reach to Reef Green Lane agreement with Region 1, from October until October 22, we received quite a good number of requests, especially towards the end of October, when it was already open to the whole of Luzon. No, Then it increased towards the peak months, which is November and December, reaching to about 19,000, as you see here, which is still, of course, less than the pre-COVID data, which reaches to more than 100,000 every month. No? But the actual arrivals from the period October to December was 17,576. Okay, next. For this year, January, February, the numbers are quite low, but in March, very surprising requests reached more than 66,000. No? But only showed actual arrival of 24,000. This is due, of course, to the declaration of NCR Plus under ECQ towards the end of March. So we received cancellations last minute. So talagang bumaba. So April figure shows a very low turnout likewise as compared with the past months. And with the DOT also with the DOT advisory prohibiting AEs or accommodation establishments in areas under GCQ to accept leisure travelers, Baguio also had to close for the period March 22 to April 4, which was actually covering the Holy Week. But now we are again open. Next. For other areas in the region, it's still closed for tourism, but some tourism sites are open for residents within the locality or the province and nearby municipalities, but declaring localized lockdowns, as they say, from time to time. So this is Apayao. So this is Apayao, as you can see. So, and Abra, let's and Kalinga. So, okay, Abra, next. So only, okay, so for Mountain Province is still closed, but Bontoc, which is a specific municipality, is open for residents only. Next. In Ifugao is still actually closed, but this town, which is called Alfonso Lista, where you can do bird watching, is actually open for residents during its MGCQ period. This was open to the entire of Luzon, and this is very near Isabela, so it can be accessed from the airport of Kawayan. Next. And for the nearby municipalities of Baguio, Tuba, for instance, open for nearby municipalities within the BLIS, as we call it, Baguio, La Trinidad, Itogon, Sablan, Tuba, and Tublay. And another municipality in Benguet, that's Kapangan, it's also open for residents only. And Itogon, which is also near Baguio, open for residents only. And La Trinidad, very proximate to Baguio, is also open for residents only. Okay, so next. So what is being done now as we prepare for recovery is to also ensure that the industry is given support, given the support needed, no, in order to cushion the blow and prevent further losses and ensure business continuity. And the main strategy at this stage is to support initiatives of tourism-related entrepreneurs to develop or strengthen livelihood activities that will augment income from tourism or serve as an alternative to some that are presently inoperable tourism businesses. So hence, next, one of the national programs initiated is the CARES for Travel, which is an interest-free loan for the industry through the SB Management Corps under DTI. Next. So in CAR, we recorded 17 enterprises that availed of this program with a total amount released of 6,938,000. It's quite low actually. Next, we also continue to monitor the implementation of the DOT DOLE financial assistance for tourism workers in the region. We have endorsed more than 30,000 workers, and as of today, 82,785,000 has already been remitted, and awaiting the disbursements of the remaining budget of 93 million more. So we hope to be able to give to everybody in our database. Okay, next. Another responsive strategy now is to be able to strike a balance. So our goal in tourism is to be able to move and lead the industry within allowable limits and prescribed guidelines, no? To provide the environment where businesses can still operate, but doing the balancing act. And to ensure the safety of workers and guests, of course, that's the primordial concern. So next. So the approach is the approach now is to have a regulated and cautious reopening. Thus, the guidelines in the operation of tourist attractions. At least we have this as a guide. Tourism activities are allowed under GCQ. That's why we are able to go out, no, in Baguio City, and even the rest of the Cordilleras for residents. So. And but within 50% capacity only for all tourism sites, and 70% if under MGCQ. So because it's already open for tourism. So for as long as the minimum public health protocols are observed. So that's just a requirement. So next. The conduct of tours through travel agencies has been prescribed also to guide tour operators and tour guides. So under MGCQ, tour guides may conduct tours provided the number of participants is limited to 50% of the seat or the venue capacity and subject to the restrictions imposed by the local government unit. And next, for accommodation establishments, DOT has also issued the guidelines, and continuous orientation for AEs is conducted. So this is the guide in all the regions. So it depends really on what status you are in. Next. So moving forward now, as we continue to respond to the circumstances of the pandemic, we have so far laid down recovery efforts in the short and long term. Our objective now is for the region's tourism sector to adapt to the new normal and be better positioned to compete in the tourism market, given emerging tourism trends post-pandemic. And the main strategies will be to ensure competitiveness by leveraging CAR's major strengths in nature, culture, and farm tourism, and to raise CAR's marketability to domestic tourists and soon to the international market, and to diversify and innovate on product offering by developing new tourism circuits, and to continue to capacitate the tourism workforce to cope and adapt in the new normal. So next. So as a continuing effort, we need to prepare tourism establishments and practitioners for the safe resumption of tourism. So what we do now is to continue guide the establishments in adhering minimum health protocols. Our accreditation is in full swing. We have issued the accreditation to a total of 506 properties, and out of these are accommodation establishments. So these are the establishments that are prepared to accept tourists. So we have this per category. Next. Next. 22 agritourism farm sites. Next. Let's just skip that. And we are also proud that aside from the accreditation, some of our hotels did the extra mile. 3 have been given WTTC Safe Travels Stamp Award, or the World Travel and Tourism Council. These are the Baguio Country Club, Forest Lodge, and the Manor at Camp Chanhae. Okay. Next, next is the continuous conduct of IECs and tourism industry manpower development and capacity building also for local government units. So at this time, we have seen the power of technology, and we have maximized the use of it in order to reach more establishments and workers. We have conducted a total of 52 webinars last year, reaching to almost 2,000 stakeholders, and still continuing this year. And recently, can we next. So these are some examples. So recently, we have conducted also a tourism and resiliency forum last February. It's entitled "Re-anchoring and Redirecting Our Ships in Evolving Storms," gathering stakeholders all over the region and provided the venue for sharing best practices and updating the industry on market opportunities and demands, rethinking tourism and sustainable tourism development. Next. We also conduct regular consultations with our partner local government units to provide updates and information on status of tourism, both local and international and national. And we have continued to provide technical services in tourism plan formulation, including training on tourism statistics and the need for database to guide us in proper planning both now and in the future. Also, next. Also, guided by the new market trends and travel preferences in the new normal, we need to diversify and innovate tourism offers. So diversification is crucial for tourism competitiveness because tourism markets are very dynamic and can be unstable at this time. And according to the Philippine Travel Survey report conducted during the early months of the ECQ lockdown, travelers are more likely to reduce their travel budget the higher their expected income reduction is. No? So the survey finds that 74% foresee a reduction in income and 44% expect a reduction in travel budget. So this generally points to a very high likelihood of the domestic travel market substantially shrinking because of the economic repercussion of the pandemic. So the concern for CAR is that the survey finds that the potential market prefer beach areas as their destinations. But also an opportunity for CAR is the fact that all the other interests are its area of strength. So you can see visiting museums, traveling solo or backpacking, taking an eco or farm tour. So all of this, doing an outdoor activity, biking, going on a staycation, and going on a road trip. So these things you can be able to do in the Cordilleras. So, but then of course, we recognize that all this data suggests that competition between and among destinations in the country will become really more intense in the years following the pandemic. So this scenario should drive now our region to innovate and diversify its tourism offerings to remain competitive. So the strategy here is to create tourism circuits to connect different destinations and package accordingly so that sites within proximity could be easily visited, disperse travelers to untap and nearby destinations. We are now going into all of these destinations that are not popular, that were not popular pre-COVID. So next. So we have identified farm tourism circuits. We have identified and assessed existing and potential farm sites in the region. And the development of each site will consider creating farm tours that can be packaged with ecotourism activities like forest bathing or nature therapy and trekking, and farm tours with food and culinary tourism. Next. Arts and craft using farm produce, edible landscaping experiences, health and wellness tourism, and other cultural tourism activities. So diverse offer even in one destination, even if it's thematic. No? So specifically for culinary tours, we have identified areas already highlighting the existence of heritage cuisines. No? Activities can be done standalone or part of the farm experience. Depending on the readiness of the destination for a diversified offer. So to encourage and promote food tourism across provinces of the region, we have actually recently conducted, or actually we are conducting the MANGAN TAKU Food Festival this week to highlight heritage cuisine as a unique offer and food as part of the brand of the destination. So this is across the provinces in the Cordillera. So these are just, let me just share you some photos of our mga taku this week that is ongoing, promoting food, gathering chefs for a competition, doing a mini chef's fair because of the limitation in large gathering, we have to do it mini. But We also have done online food conversations to really focus on food as also part of our brand, and in line also with the celebration of the Filipino Food Month. Okay, next. So we had actually also, utilized outdoor areas in the city of Baguio to do our events, since we know that the outdoor areas are safer than enclosed venues. So since we have beautiful sceneries in the city of Baguio, might as well also promote it as a background and backdrop of our events, so that people can be able to see there's a sense of normalcy in the way we do in the city of Baguio. There's a way to do it, doing it safely. Okay, next, on cultural tourism, we also have partnered with SM, as you can see, so very mini, just so to give them a glimpse of Cordillera inspired food, also promoting restaurants that are actually furloughed for the longest time. Next, next. Sorry, that's supposed to be okay. That's farm and food tours, as I mentioned. And on cultural tourism, we want to highlight the UNESCO heritage sites of Ifugao. We shall develop circuits that will focus on the value of the rice terraces as a living cultural landscape. Also, next, highlighting the weaving industry in Cordilleras as an old age tradition that is intricately part of ritual life, emphasizing cultural significance and the need to preserve and transmit to the next generation to foster Cordillera culture and identity. And next, nature tourism, of course, remains our strength. And the survey will show that people will travel to keep their sanity, and our nature offers will address that need. Breath in fresh air, release those tensions and anxieties brought by more than a year of uncertainty. Garden walks and meditation will help you survive this pandemic. So this is now our new normal offer. Next, also walking in outdoor spaces that will take you to historical and nature routes is another offer. And next, activities that are existing under the new normal offers also include like next, we have also, so you can see Baguio City now, Burnham Park, Session Road, the cathedral. So all of these are walkable spaces that that are available for the tourists, and very accessible nature parks also. You can do a creative crawl, and we want to integrate or infuse storytelling in the creative crawls, providing interaction with local artists, because that is what we actually do now. Street art, art in the park demos, visit to galleries, weaving, silver craft, and other creative spaces, specifically for Baguio City, as it is a UNESCO Creative City. Recently, we also have developed a pilgrimage tour next that was launched during the Holy Week. This is the Christian Jubilee Pilgrimage Tour in celebration of the 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines. So putting at the center the tour Jubilee churches granted to give plenary indulgence. So this tour is available until 2022. So open so this is under our faith-based tourism. Next. Other existing offers in the new normal would be under leisure and recreation, staycation, targeting families and market that are not vulnerable. Some activities may include golf, because we have golf courses, glamping, outdoor garden dining, or al fresco. This also following the fact that tourists prefer outdoor destinations with staycations. And Baguio and the rest of the Cordilleras is very ideal for all these activities with the cool weather. And let me just show you some of the hotels that are offering staycations, like the Manor at Kanchanhe. They have this promo deals, 2,500 net per night, for as low as 1,900. They also have long stay promo, 7 nights stay at 15,000. So you can do your vacation here, work from hotel or work from holiday. So and then you can work, and then you can still be able to experience all the offers that we have here. This is another one. This is Lemonade. This is within Kamchanhe also, offering a package to include forest bathing within Kamchanhe. This is the newest hotel in Baguio City. It's called, they just opened actually the other week. It's called the Lafayette Luxury Suites. So they have special offers now. Get your third night free if you stay 3 nights and pay only for 2 rooms. So we have star-rated hotels in the city of Baguio that can be offered to even to international market. Next. And so other ways forward, let me just also mention that as a marketing strategy overall, we want to position the Cordillera as a safe and ready destination. We have produced various videos and documentaries highlighting new offers as well. And other ways forward now are, of course, to continue with the messaging that health and safety is a primordial concern and is striking a balance between health and the economy. We have to maintain our brand presence. As they say, a place brand does not cease to be a place brand simply because it cannot be visited. It just needs to be experienced differently. We will bring the virtue of the destination to life through a combination of technology and creativity. We want to connect with our stakeholders and become a source of information, and we will push the recovery forward beyond the pandemic, of course, emphasizing strengthening capacities and sustainable development. We will continue to embrace the digital revolution and social media campaigns. We will create content and more content. We will harness the enthusiasm for travel in appropriate and productive ways. This time, people may be cautious, very, very cautious to travel, but nurturing that pent-up wanderlust will have huge returns over the coming years. So I guess that is my last slide. I'd like to say maraming salamat. In the Cordillera, we say matago-tago takulosan, mabuhay, and be safe.